Seth and Nakamura came face to face this week after Nakamura turned on Seth last week, and they've agreed to have a match. They didn't say when. I assume it's going to be Payback. Makes sense. But the question is, what did Nakamura say to Seth Rollins? Whatever it was, WWE did a good job of making sure you didn't see what Nakamura said, but you definitely saw Seth Rollins' reaction. Whatever he said had Seth Rollins spooked, and the idea of it is something Seth Rollins did not want to hear. Like, taking your belt, surely Seth could take something like that. Why would he react like this? Let me know what you think Nakamura said to Seth Rollins in the comments section down below. This is things you might have missed from Monday Night Raw. Make sure you've hit the like button, and if you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button too. Chelsea Green was wondering the situation with the women's tag titles with Sonya Deville being injured. We'd have Katana and Kaden come in, basically lay claim to a shot at the belts, and then be attacked by Piper Niven. Piper would then basically steal one of the women's tag team championships, declaring herself one half of the women's tag title holders and Chelsea's new partner. Now you know the first thing I thought of. Justice for Liv and Raquel! JD McDonagh would come out tonight and give a message to the Judgment Day from Finn Balor. Now, Sami Zayn would instantly come out, and of course the brawl was on following last week. Notice though, Judgment Day refused to help JD, Finn's friend. They are not interested in JD McDonagh. And then of course we got the match JD versus Sami Zayn, which was actually a good match. They was really trying to get a good shot at that arm. Look at this though. Look at how do you do that and it not be painful? The dude's literally stood on his face. Oh my God. The entire story of the match, rightfully so after last week, was Sami Zayn's elbow, JD picking apart the elbow of Sami Zayn. Sami would beat JD despite the fact Finn came out trying to help him. Note that Finn Balor came out after the Judgment Day promo to try and help JD. He didn't come out for the Judgment Day. We'd see Rhea Ripley acting as a peacemaker between Finn and Damian. Obviously, this is after Damian basically said there was communication issues in the Judgment Day. The first acknowledgement from the Judgment Day that there is an actual problem. Finn would take on Cody in the main event of Raw. I don't know what Dirty Dom thought he was doing when he went out like that, but he did take Cody down and got a nice pat on the head from Finn Balor for doing so. Well, Damian would mess up again. Cody would actually use the briefcase to help him beat Finn Balor tonight. But then after the match, JD would help the Judgment Day. JD McDonagh helped them not only to stand tall, but dominate Sami and Cody. And although he stayed in the background, it was the main four in the ring. Has he now been accepted? Is Judgment Day going to allow JD McDonagh to join the group? That could be interesting. Gunther is 25 days away from being the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time. He'd do a promo tonight about Chad Gable, obviously. Chad and the Alpha Academy would come out. Worth noting, Ludwig Kaiser once again flirting with Maxine Dupree. Do you think Maxine could turn on Chad, and that's the reason why Gable doesn't win the Intercontinental Championship? We followed with a good match between Chad Gable and Giovanni Vinci, won obviously by Chad Gable, and then they'd set up Otis versus Gunther. Oh my God, it happened. Two big guys brawling it out. What a freaking powerbomb for Gunther to win. I'm okay with this. It made Chad Gable look good. It made Gunther look good. I don't know who I want to win and lose during this feud, man. Who do you think's going to win? Let me know in the comments down below. Drew McIntyre was the mystery tag team partner for Matt Riddle tonight. I don't know why either, because they literally did a whole vignette beforehand where they set this up. Were they just trying to plant seeds to make fans think it could be Randy Orton? Well, Drew and Riddle would be successful tonight beating the Viking Raiders, and then they'd run into the New Day carrying two white chairs. Totally a reference to the Alabama boat brawl that's literally gone viral everywhere this last week for sure. But the New Day would basically challenge Riddle and Drew McIntyre to a match next week, with the winners getting a shot at the World Tag Team Championships. I loved Xavier's dig as well. The Street Profits now think they're Cedric and Sheldon. Brilliant. Rhea Ripley would absolutely dominate Indy Hartwell tonight. Indy looked okay. There were some moments in there. But again, after the match, it would be Candice and Indy standing tall. They've got to be doing Candice and Rhea next week, I assume. I think with the hype up for the match and obviously the video package earlier on night for Indy, I think this was a nice introduction to Indy Hartwell, if you maybe don't know who she is. Something worth noting on Twitter, Tommaso Ciampa did a video with Chelsea Green where he spoke about his best friend, Johnny Gargano, and obviously DIY. Now, obviously that's not enough, but then another video from Ciampa shows him plastering backstage at Raw with missing posters for Johnny Gargano. Is this going to be something we see on TV in the future? Are we going to see Tommaso trying to find Johnny to reunite DIY? Like, this is the closest we've come to this reunion. And now, like, Ciampa's sort of talking about it on social media, it looks like it could happen. And if you haven't kept up with the wrestling news recently, it is being rumoured from Edge's trainer that Edge will wrestle his last match this coming Friday on SmackDown versus Sheamus. So that's something to definitely keep an eye open on and obviously watch, because Edge is one of the best of all time, and the fact that he could be about to wrestle his last match in WWE is a very big deal. Who would have guessed? Trish was lying. Her face was healed, and she took the mask off during the match with Becky Lynch tonight. Wasn't the main event. It was a little bit sloppy at parts, but give Trish and Becky their dues. When it went sloppy, they recovered it very, very well. The match was okay. It was very much a brawl between the two, but that's exactly what it should be. They hate each other. They was fighting on the outside of the ring a lot, to the point they got double count-outed. And then they went through the WWE audience to the merchandise area and started throwing merch at each other. Well, Zoe Stark got involved. Now, technically, she wasn't at ringside, so she didn't break the rules in any way. The match was also over at that point. But because Zoe got involved, that angered Adam Pearce, who said, we will have a match, Trish and Becky, in the future, and it will be a steel cage match. He didn't say when, but I've got to assume Payback. Payback just makes the most sense, doesn't it? While Trish was modelling Seth Rollins t-shirts, Becky Lynch has a brand new t-shirt available on WWE Shop. It's literally just 11... Oh my God, I bet you're queuing up. Miz spoke about LA Knight tonight, and he said next week on Raw, he's going to beat someone who's bigger, faster, stronger than anyone LA Knight has ever beat in his entire career. You know it's going to be someone silly. I have no idea who it's going to be. No idea, but next week we find out. He also said he might show up on SmackDown, and if that's true, that means LA Knight on Friday Night SmackDown confirmed. For me, Raw was about a 6 out of 10 tonight. Not the best show, but there were some big moments, especially with JD McDonagh. Really big night for him. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications. You never have to miss another upload. Like the video, share the video, and I'll see you next time. Peace!